Welcome everybody to another episode of Don Talk. We got a special guest in here, Demetris Pringle, and then with our co-host Dar'Ron up in here. Today we're going to be talking about brothers, not rivals. So too many brothers grow up believing another man's success somehow takes away from their own. We've mastered competition, but many of us were never taught collaboration. And when men stop seeing each other as rivals, that's when communities actually change. So that's just a quick little intro. But before we dive into that topic, we always start off with how you doing. So Demetris, you the guest. How you doing today, brother? What's going on with you?
Spiritually, I feel great. I'm out in this world as an entrepreneur and just grinder. So I get shot at every day, figuratively speaking. So I'm never fully relaxed. That's why I think I have this permanent scowl. So I'm not mad at anything. You might see my face. My relaxed face is really just, pray with me, don't play with me, but I feel good though. I'm happy to be here.
I
Oh,
feel
wait. Hey,
that.
say that again. You said, pray with me. Don't. Say that
Pray with me,
again.
don't pray with me, don't play with me.
Okay, I like that. I
Hey,
like
Yeah,
that.
100%. Leave me
that's
alone.
gonna be a clip right there for sure.
Yeah, but I
Dar'Ron,
feel
how you
great, man.
doing,
Thanks for
man?
having me.
Oh yeah, no, man, glad to have you, dude. So excited about having you on here with this topic, especially. So we'll get into that more on why. But Dar'Ron, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm actually excited that I get to go. Jason, right? My nephew, he's getting married,
Mm.
man.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's getting married on Sunday.
Because he's the same age as Taylor, right? Like, how old is he?
He's like 28.
Yeah, so he's a couple years older than Taylor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's 28, man. So I'm excited about that. Get to go back home. Just kind of hang out with the family. We don't really get to go back home too often.
yeah,
But other than that, man, I'm definitely blessed. I would say I have my own, my own thing going on too as well, Dimitri. So I get what you're saying. Sometimes, things they work out well one day, but then the very next day, like, what just happened? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
But someone told me who was in the same shoes as I am now, and they once told me, um, we're gonna laugh about this one day or enjoy the
yeah,
process, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I ain't
yeah,
laughing yet. I'm waiting
yeah,
on it. I'm not
yeah,
laughing
yeah,
yet, man. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to enjoy this process, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna act like it's not challenging because it is,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the road I chose. You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
this is the road let's travel. It's easy to kind of get that 9 to 5 and get that check every couple of weeks, which is good, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for myself, man, I, I, I gotta be on my own time. I guess I want to say, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's getting there. You feel it. It's like it's so close, And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate this time and this opportunity just to, uh, talk to some brothers, even whether it's positive, whether it's enlightening, whatever. I don't care what it is, man. Just the fact that what I'm saying, I get to talk to some brothers, on a deeper level at times, because sometimes you need that. Everything we go through, especially being entrepreneurs, man, everything is surface level. You know what I'm saying? You don't really get in deep to, with people as often as you like, because
Mm-hmm.
you're always trying to make that next move, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
always trying to,
Mm-hmm.
get it in the best way you can. So I definitely appreciate these conversations, man. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. What about you,
no,
man?
yeah.
How you doing, brother?
Today was an interesting day. I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. Today was interesting though. Some stuff going on at work, which I ain't gonna dive into, but I'll find out more about it tomorrow.
Mhm.
We'll see. Demetrius knows how I am. I come in and I could tell you what's wrong. Give me 2, 3 weeks max. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna put together a plan to fix it. And sometimes a lot of jobs want you to come in and do that, but then when you actually put in the plan for that to happen, a lot of it points back to the organization, and they don't take that uh, type of criticism well. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's that's who I am. That's the skill set that I have, and that's a very strong skill set for me. Um, but a lot of people don't take that well. So
Hmm.
I'm in a space where like we're pushing and growing and trying to build in this territory, and it also just might lead to other opportunities in different markets for me
Mhm.
to explore. So we'll see. Um, so work is work, trying to pay off some debt, of that got me out here, and stop this emotional spending that I've been doing. So that's
Yeah.
that's it.
Eventually you're gonna laugh at that. You gonna once you understand, you're gonna be like, what? What
Yeah,
50,000? Oh, that's it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when you tell people how much debt you are, they start laughing. Especially to certain people, like, oh man, yeah, you be fine. Right?
That's real. That's real. That's real. It's all relative when you're in that moment, though. When you're in that moment, it
Yeah,
seems crazy, but you look back at it, man. You might, man. MT.
Right.
absolutely.
Just life is it's good though. Everything is building up. So it's like, I'm gonna keep it pushing. So it's good. I ain't got
Hmm.
I complain, but it's more whining at that point in time. So I'm good. I'm just keep pushing, heads in the right space, continue to grow.
Hmm.
I love these talks because it gets me around some good people, continue to be around them. Me
Yeah.
and Dar'Ron is rebuilding. We've had a lifelong friendship. It ain't gone nowhere, but the fact that now we talking every week, it's like, I look forward to this mess, man.
Right,
I look
right.
forward.
Yeah. It's crazy how the different chapters of life line up, right? Because I connected with a good friend of mine. We had the same birthday. He was in college, and I haven't talked to him for years. And then we connected. It was just like yesterday, and we connect and we talk about the old times and have fun. And as adults in this chapter of our lives, it's just interesting how we've developed, and we commend each other for the development because I see things in him. I'm like, bruh, 20 years ago, Kenny, my boy, it's good to see you have grown to be able to handle these situations. And Mike, you point out something, you said, it'd be whining. And it's not that. Like, I really want to help us all get out of that mindset of like, I could complain. Nah, you voicing it. Like, yo, I do real things. You
Hmm.
feel real things happen to me, but I'm okay. You asked, so I'm not going to give you a surface level. Oh, it's great. Real things are happening, but I'm good though. I'm built for it. Right.
Yep.
So that
Right.
I know my brother's going through something. Let me call and check up on him. You straight? Yeah, I'm good, bro. All right,
Right.
man. No, you can talk to me now. Right. So
Right.
yeah,
I got you. I like that. I like that
right
one.
on.
Cool. Cool.
But they
All
still
right. So
don't, right? That's the funny thing.
yeah.
That, that's why we are here to talk because we all go into monk mode. Like,
Right,
we're
Yeah.
right.
conditioned to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But what happened
Mhm.
when you ain't got no boots? You know what I mean? Like we gotta lean on each other. Like, let me borrow your boots.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Right,
I know.
right.
Yeah. That's a good point. And we and
hundred
we got to
percent.
get better. And that's part of everything we talk about. It's like Dar'Ron says, call him if I need to. But man, my mind is always like, this man got 3 kids, a wife, a family. Like, I don't want to bother him.
Hmm.
And
But
I am
if I,
busy. I
I
am.
know. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it doesn't mean I don't want you calling. You know
Yeah.
what
I
I'm
know,
saying?
man.
I'm never really not doing nothing. And even if I'm not doing nothing, I'm still doing something.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? When I'm not doing nothing, that's just like, okay, I'm probably resting my
Yeah.
Hmm.
mind. But I always have time for my friends, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Right.
Like don't
On
don't
it.
don't forget that.
And
Yeah.
that's
I
good to
think
voice too, because it's not like I don't want to bother. It's like it's okay to be prioritized. You feel
Mhm.
me? Like Mike, when I
Mhm.
called you back the other day, like we hung up, I was like, oh man, I need to finish something. Let me call you back. Are you good, man? You had anything else you wanted to talk about? I did that
Yeah.
on purpose to let you know, but I'm gonna prioritize this time for
Hmm.
you. You my guy. I don't do that for
Right.
Right.
everybody, but you ain't everybody.
Right. I got you. No, I appreciate that. That's
I know.
something I know I got to get over. I know there's more people out there that have to get over that same thing. So we are, as long as we keep talking about it and voicing it, you know, we all gonna be in that space where we gonna pick up that phone when needed. So for
Yeah.
sure. All right. What we sipping on? What we sipping on? As you know, you may or may not know, I've been trying to get out this coffee funk for past couple months. So I love talking about black businesses too. So I found this herbal renaissance company. So I'm on this
Okay.
loose leaf tea right now.
Oh,
Uh
nice.
Stuff is fire. Great. I got like 4 different flavors or kinds or mixtures, however you want to say it. So I'm sipping on some tea, trying to keep my health up right.
Is that male performance tea?
No, they do have some though. They do
I
have
got
some.
some. I ain't gonna front. Yeah, I drink some. I do it on the
They,
regular, baby. I gotta keep
yeah.
myself right.
Listen, bro, I
Right.
was batting 400 regular, batting 500 on the PD. I'm gonna be all right. I'm still 400 either
Oh,
way, but the
yeah,
500, you know what I mean? It hit a little different.
Exactly. Right. And it's just tea. It's just tea, right?
yeah.
It's not the little blue
It's
pill. I
yeah.
haven't got to the blue pill yet. I'm scared of that thing, man.
It's
I
from the
haven't got
earth.
that
It's
one.
from the earth. It's herbal. It's from the earth. So that's what I'm sipping on. So what you got? What you got, Demetris?
So this is my daily protein, Shabani protein, go 15 grams of protein just for the evening before I eat dinner and work out, and then just some water. I have my coffee for the day, and yeah, for the rest of the night is water and just the protein because I gotta stay sharp, especially being on the mat with these youngins trying to kill me every day. I gotta make sure I'm on
Yeah,
point.
yeah. We're gonna define what mat that is in a minute, but
Yeah,
uh,
I'm on water too.
yeah, it's water in that drink. Yeah. Uh
Right here. I got my water next to me. Nah, man.
Right.
Honestly, it's the Corona Premier.
Oh, those are fire. I got a
Yeah.
case in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she brought my wife brought some home and I was just like, let me get one, man. So I just
Mm,
but it's so hot outside. I mean, I just wanted something cold real quick.
Yeah.
I ain't
So
mad
I
at
got
you.
me yeah, it's what, 90 some degrees in North Carolina right now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we broke 90 today. We just had a storm, and then now I feel like a dishwasher out there. But yeah, so I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad
wait,
at you.
are you in New York now?
No, I'm in Boston. I'm still in Boston.
Oh,
Yeah.
you in Boston, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's still trying to hold down the fort that I left him in. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to make it happen.
Mike paved the way, and I'm still there with my
Wait, I think I
yeah.
met you. Did we
You
go to
did.
one of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We
Yeah.
Yeah.
went to that.
Yeah.
It was like a function, like a
It
what
was
they
a
call
Yeah.
it?
market. It was the
Huh?
market
Yeah.
inside the
It was
gym.
the veggie fest, and I was telling
Yeah.
Okay,
Mike to get
bet.
up out of here. You got people to work. You
Yeah,
couldn't leave.
okay. I
You know?
remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forgot
I was
about
like,
that.
man, he looked
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I love about this dude is when he talked about the mat earlier, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, right? But like the most humblest guy, because he know what he could do to you if you cross that line. So
Mhm.
he's just always like, yeah, yeah. But then in his head, he's like, you know you're about to get fucked up, right?
Wait, do you ever have those? All jokes aside, but do you ever have those thoughts where, man, I wonder what would happen? Because I'm not sure if you actually like use it in like a real life situation, right? Like where
Hmm.
you got into it with somebody and you just it had to happen. Have you ever had that experience yet?
Yeah, that happened before, and we could dive into that just as I talk about my background.
Okay, okay.
Uh and Mike, if you don't mind, I'll get just to
Yeah,
explain this
go ahead,
piece of
jump
it.
in.
So yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been a part of my life for the better part of 15 years now, and black belt. I teach kids classes. I teach everybody women's self-defense, kids classes. I corner MMA fighters. The one thing I learned with Jiu-Jitsu is that there's, like Denzel said in the movie, is train to untrain. When I am teaching a class and somebody walks in off the street, big guy, 6'5", 200, I'm a street fighter, this and that, I roll with them. I don't ever duck it because I need to make sure they're safe on the mat. And most of the time, man, it's like fighting a small child because they don't know what to do. So the fight will be over in seconds. And that's respectfully. But trained fighter, more than likely than not, we're going to try to talk it out because we know that if we have to go that far, only thing that's going to come with it is hell and somebody's going to get hurt real bad. You know what I mean? But there were times, there was the last time I had to use it outside of the mat. I do have an experience with incarceration. I was behind a wall
Hmm.
and I came in and I was a purple belt at the time, so it wasn't like I was an expert or anything. And I went to use the phone, different rules in that thing. And they went, hey, you got to ask for the phone. I said, all right, man, no problem. Me, I'm a civilian. I pay taxes. I just got into trouble. So I, hung up the phone. Hastily, I was calling my wife and he hung up the phone. I was wondering what the policies was. He told me. I said, okay, I'll make the call again. Mind if I use the phone? He said, yeah. I want to use the phone again. He said, nah, now you have to pay me to use the phone. I said, I can't do that. I just got here. This is day one. I can't do that. And he was like, all right, come holler at me in his cell. And I said, all right, being green, thinking we're really going to go have a conversation. And I go in the room. And when you open a room, it's what it is. It's a toilet, a
Mhm.
bed, and a window. So he opens the door. I'm thinking he's a gentleman. I go in the room. He pushes me. I go and I hit the wall and he grabs me from behind. In my mind, I'm like, damn it, man. Like, I don't feel like doing this. Like, I just want to sit down. So I threw him over like like a hip toss. And then I'm on top
Mhm.
of him because most people don't know how to escape when somebody's mounted on top of you. And I'm looking at him like, like, I hate to have to do this to you, man. Are we good? It's like, no, when I get off, bro, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do all that. So when the door closed, they locked the unit down. And they were like, all right, unit down. They called the CERT team, which is the riot team with the shields and everything like that. So I'm holding them down. I look back and they're like, Pringle, get off of him. Nope. And I look at him and he's still tussling. So I was just like, all right, before they come in here, I got to make a statement because this is my first day. So I just broke his arm. And then they came in, rushed or whatever, whatever. And then we went to the hole and then the warden comes in and he's like, Pringle, I didn't think I was going to have this problem with you. And he knew a couple of the people in the jiu-jitsu community. So he was
Mhm.
like, we're going to put you over here. I said, thank you, man, because I don't want no problems, So that was the last time
Mhm.
I had to physically like do that. There's been some almost outside, but like people feel it. Most people don't want to fight. They want to be heard. They want to posture in front of their people. But when you say things like, bro, we don't have to get in trouble right here. Let's come back behind this alley. I ain't got no weapons. Like, why don't you really want to fight? Sign this waiver. Meet me at Broadway Jiu-Jitsu. I give you all the work you want. And most of the time they just fizzle out. But the being on the mat, fighting so much and being around an environment, everything moves slow when people are loud and pulling up their pants. And I'm just looking around like, okay, who's gonna be
He's like
like
pulling up his
who's
pants.
yeah, you know what I mean? Who's gonna be the problem? Who's who's gonna throw the first punch and what would that look like? So it does give you a sense of calm, being on the
Okay.
mat all the time.
Hey, that boy's deadly. That boy deadly.
Man, right.
I'm cool though. I swear I'm cool, man.
I stick to being quiet. Just
Yeah,
do that.
and that's why like when I met Mike, like me and Mike, we talk about people like real recognizing real. Like I recognize Mike off the rip. Like he was executive director, came in, I called about a job and he's like, yo, man, interview. He's like, man, we want you in here. But we met and he was asking some tough questions and I appreciated that about him because he let me know off the rip, this is who I am.
Mhm.
This is who I am. I'm with you though, but you gotta be real with me. And that's all I needed. That's all I needed. Once I knew that I could be vulnerable and real with another dog, I was all right because that is the pack. I gotta have your back. And throughout his
Yeah.
duration at, the Reggie Lewis in Boston, I just had his back. Even now, people still got stuff to say. They don't talk bad about Mike around me. Yeah, that's my man. He got his ways with him, but I let everybody know that's still my guy. You know.
Yeah. That was one thing that I definitely want to get into, because too many times we don't help other brothers out with the genuineness of really wanting them to succeed.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And so to elaborate on that story is, we have like an entry level event facilities role at the Reggie Lewis, and his resume comes across, and I'm like, master's degree, all this experience, like not even master's, MBA,
Oh
like
wow. Okay. You're
MBA,
right.
and I'm sitting here like, why is this guy applying for this little chump job? But he's here, and I'm gonna interview him and see what's going on. I mean, answered everything perfectly. Like I was like, dang, like something. And then you got that, like, what's the problem though? So I was like, I was he answered everything right, but I'm like, all right, so finally got to the point of like, but why? You got a you got an MBA, you got this, and this. Like, why this job? And he told me his background. I was like, I got you. And then, so we was walking out. I was like, dude, I like what you represent. Thank you so much for telling us and being open and honest with your background. I said, I ain't got no issue with it. Like, so I'm gonna go up the ladder and see if we can make this work. But he probably thought that, yeah, nigga, whatever. Like, done heard this before, you know.
One of those, right? One of those.
One of these guys. But because of his background, it took a couple weeks to like even like filter through it. Was everybody okay with us bringing in? And I had to like, yeah, dude, he's gonna be okay. Like, I got him. He's gonna be okay. We talk about giving people second chances, and we're not gonna give somebody that can help us out another chance. So, and then I call him like, hey, now I call you about the bro. What was your reaction then?
Yeah, so I was just, it left my mind, because at the time I was teaching jiu-jitsu. I was, doing a couple things with real estate, but I wanted to get back in the community. And I was just like, after a couple weeks, I was just like, all right, man, it happens. It's not his fault. Always thought you was a genuine guy, Mike, because the first thing I said was like, if I don't get this job, the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation needs a home in Boston. If I don't get it, go call them because they're big tournament international, which they're still here, by the way. They signed a contract with them. This is their fourth
Love
event, $30,000 each time, right? So I'm in the community. Like, I've done things that the people who invented jiu-jitsu couldn't do, get jiu-jitsu back in Boston by way of you, right? So when you called me, I was like, told my wife, like, yo, the executive director called me. Like, called me. You know what I mean? He said he wanted me to work there and all that. I feel good, and I was really excited and thankful. Like, and I made up my mind then, like, if I get this job, like, I ain't gonna make a fool out of him. Like, people are gonna know he makes good decisions. And it was up from there, like everything we went through.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
are you still there right now?
Yeah, by way of
Okay.
Mike, the thing about it is that Mike just said, here. I get there, we're figuring things out 2 weeks later. So I'm an operations associate. 2
Okay.
weeks into it, the director of operations leaves. So I was like, I'm not playing with you. I'll move right in his office. Like, I ain't playing with you, man. I'm taking what's mine, but like, I ain't playing. I know what to do. Right. And I just was like, I just looked, Mike, what do you need? I was asking very direct questions because Mike's thing was like, I just need people to do their job. Everybody's operating outside of their lane. But Mike, what
Right.
do you need me to do? And he's like, we got this, we got this, we got this. I was like, yeah, I got time. So I cut off a couple of my priorities out here. I was like, all right, seemed like this you're gonna be an all day thing at 5:30 a.m. I'm coaching people. I'm doing everything I can to show these people, like, you're just not gonna outwork me. Like, you're just not gonna do it. I make it to, Mike, uh, basically Voss was like, yo, this is director level work. So then I make it from operations associate to operations manager to interim director of operations. And then Mike took another position. So I was like, I wasn't the interim executive director, but I was running everything with the help of Mike, like, on the side. And then, now after everything's settled, I'm now the director of programs and membership. So, like, that was going to happen either way, but it wouldn't have been possible without Mike's hand. And let him cook, you know?
hey, the most important part, all those levels of moving up within 1 year,
Oh,
within less than a
Yeah,
year's time. Like,
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, it was cooking, and it was fun with you, Mike. Like, I just love, like, Mike just had ideas. It was just like he needed a solid number two, and I understood
yeah.
that. And like,
Yeah.
I didn't compete with Mike. Mike needed a number two so he could do what he was good at instead of having to be in the mix of the business. As an
Right.
entrepreneur, like, you're in the business, you can't work on the business.
Right. Right.
So I was like, okay, Mike, let me build a tribe of people that are like me, right, around you so that you can go do what you need to do, less all of this noise. And he showed his appreciation by giving us autonomy, just bigging us up, putting us in position. Mike raised over $2 million in less than 2 years, got the Black Excellence Award in Boston that people who've been here for their whole lives can't get, countless things, in a short period of time that he's been here, programs that are still running. Um, Now, the My Reggie Fit app is about to come out. I'm leading that. That's something that I had initially brought to everyone's attention as you were modernizing things. So yeah, your legacy lives on, and I'm here for it.
He was like Denzel Washington in American Gangster. Nobody talked to me. Y'all talk to him. and you
But
talk to me,
Mike,
right?
hey Mike,
That's
did I not give you that
they.
analogy, Mike?
Hey, Dar'Ron, he literally set this up. He literally set it up in that same manner. He was like, "You
And
can't
that's how
let
it
nobody,
be.
let just nobody walk up in here and talk
Right.
to you." He said,
Yeah, bro. I'm
"No, we
like,
got to create a
Right.
front line."
yeah,
Yes,
you're the executive
absolutely.
director, right? Trying to run down on
Absolutely.
Mike. Now talk to
Uh,
me. We got a problem.
Right.
Talk to me. You know what I mean?
but that's a good point, and that's the perfect like segue to my next quote. Is like a lot of men don't lack talent; they lack a circle that celebrates them without competing with them,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I understood with Demetris. Demetris understood. But see, I knew Demetris could take my job. Was I afraid of it? No. If the opportunity arose, yes, take this mug. I'm gonna go find something else. It's not. He
Right.
wasn't gonna push me out, but it wasn't no competition. We created a community. He
Mm-hmm.
got my back. He's gonna make sure I excel, and I'm gonna make sure he excels in his role. And
Mhm.
if I ever left, my whole thing is whoever's underneath me, I want them to be well enough in a great position to take my spot. So what do y'all think about that quote? I'm gonna say it one more time. A lot of men don't lack talent; they lack a circle that celebrates them without competing with them. What's your thoughts on that?
100%, Mike. 100% with that because like I didn't have any aspirations for your job. I just knew my role. And that's just another
Mhm.
aspect of it. Like you put me on. So there was a code there to say it's twofold, right? There was a code to say, hey, I have to make sure that my man doesn't fail because he took a chance on me. So I'm going to show him you don't have anything to worry about me. And that came to be true. I wasn't the one he had to worry about, right?
Right?
Because I had his
Not at
back
all.
at all.
It
Like
was other motherfuckers up in there.
yeah, you were like, yeah, he did this, he did that in the past life, he did this and that. And I'm sitting here like, Mike, I'm just here to work, man. So
Yeah,
that's one piece
yeah.
of it. But then the other piece, and this one came from Black Panther, whenever T'Challa went to see his dad in the afterlife, and his dad told him, like, a father hasn't done his job if he hasn't prepared his children for him to not be around. Right.
Mhm.
So we were prepared. Like, it might, put me in rooms where I was just like, all right, so if this happens, we got to do this. And plus, also, I wanted Mike to have a break and he could take a break comfortably knowing that we're not going to let nothing happen. So when he did leave, like, I was ready for it. But that was because he allowed me the space and to be in those spaces to see what needed to be done to be prepared. It's just, that's leadership 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of folks like that. Like like without going into deep, because we out here we don't use names. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That
Right.
we're gentlemen. We're gentlemen here,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's from my experience, I'm on the other side of that, right? I didn't mind, coming up. I didn't mind being the number two guy. I didn't mind that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, next to someone that's doing big things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, when I see that, I'm like, okay, I get to see, how it's done, and I get to, and the person gets someone to help them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets something out of it, and I think that's the most important thing in mentoring anybody, right? Some people just is always one sided, right? But from my experience, man, like I came up with a lot of individuals who they were all leaders,
Mm-hmm.
all of them,
Mm-hmm.
all of them, and I'm talking about like people closest to me, right? To the point where we started to bump heads a lot, right? We started to bump heads because no one wanted to step down,
Mm,
right? Right?
Mhm.
No one wanted to, just kind of say, you know what, well, I'm here to help. That's it. I don't want. I had somebody come to me and tell me, I want y'all to work for me. I'm like, what?
yeah.
Right? Do you know who? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for what
Poor choice of
for
words.
right, right, for your people that you come around and they say they want you to work for them. I
Mm,
mean, this doesn't sound, especially coming from, with any man, right? I want you to work for me, right?
mhm,
Who are your friends? Or who say that they're your friends, right?
mhm.
Instead of saying, "Hey man, I want you to come work with me." You know what I'm saying? Let's
Right.
work together. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like Mike, even with this, he's like, man, I want to do this together. He didn't say, you know, hey man, I want you to come on here. He didn't make me feel less than.
Right.
He
Right.
made me feel like a partner in this, although this dude doing all the work. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
He doing it, but yet and still, you know, he's still consistent. He's still, hey man, you got this, you doing this, hey, I need to do this. And even when I don't do it, right? He's definitely patient with me, and he's, you know,
Mhm.
man, this is like a like what do you call it? A mic party right now.
A
You know
Michael
what I'm saying?
production.
Man, but my
Yeah.
my whole point is, man, you make a difference in a lot of people's lives if you didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And there's your flowers
100.
right now, man.
Yeah.
You're making a difference in both our lives. The two
100%.
individuals on here. So I can't imagine the people that you have come in contact with. You feel me? Right?
Hmm.
You don't make me feel like, man, like number two. You make me feel like your brother when we're
Hmm.
doing this, right, man?
Hmm.
You know, this Dar'Ron's my boy. We grew up together. Although, like I said, you doing all this, man.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
that's
trying to
and it's
keep. I'm just trying to keep up.
and that's Mike's. I
You know what I'm
swear that's
saying?
like that's how he is, yo. Like Mike would come to me and be like, "Hey, D, listen, we about to have esports here. We got $100,000, man. All right, here you go." And I'm like, Mike, what? He's like, I was like, all right, hey, D, we got these people coming over here, man. They want to give us 150,000. We working with, you know, this professional athlete. They want to do this in the gym. All right, I need you to. And I'm just saying here, like, all right, so he literally is just, hey,
Mhm.
alley-oop, but
Doing
like
that work.
having the fortitude to say, man, but that's the trust, right? That's the
Mhm.
trust. Because I couldn't picture in my head doing something that flew in the face of who Mike was as a person. It would hurt me. And that's the only type of relationships I wanted, because just like you described with your people, I think Eric Thomas, I listen to him a lot. You know, you the sum average of the three people you hang around the most, right? So of course you were around leaders, right?
Mhm.
It's just now like you outgrew the role that they tried to put you in. And now we have to
Mm,
have some hard conversations, right?
man. Hey, that's one of the clips right there. I like what
Right
you
there.
said, man.
Mental note on that one.
No, no,
Yeah.
because you're absolutely right. Because that was
Mm-hmm.
my role, and I did feel like that. I just wanted to be around people who were doing things. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to be. I didn't want no position, man. I didn't want no position. I just wanted to be there. I always said to myself, I don't need to own a private jet as long as I know the person who owns the private jet.
100%,
You
my
know what I'm saying?
guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, back. I ain't the
and
captain of the ship, but I'm on the boat though. You feel
I'm
me?
on the
Like,
and I don't mind working. I don't mind putting in work.
yeah,
I don't mind, you
I
know,
did.
doing my part. But a lot of people, like at a time, you said it got to the point where I started thinking like a leader. I started thinking like, okay, man, I got to do this. We got to do this. This got to happen. This got to happen. And when I started sharing my thoughts, I
Mm,
noticed that they were being brushed off.
mm,
Right.
Mm.
And I'm
mm.
gonna say like this. Even I'm gonna bring it up, man. Even in like the churches I joined.
Yeah.
Right?
Boy.
The
Mm,
you know, I'm flipping it a little bit. Like
Here we
even
go.
within the black church, I always believe that the black church, we are probably the one of the only organizations that do not have counseling centers within the church.
Because
mm.
you know who your counselor is?
Right.
God, God,
Right.
God's your
Jesus is
counselor.
the counselor,
Jesus
right?
is
Right.
your everything
But
and
look,
all things.
look.
Jesus got a
So
lot
when
to worry about, my guy.
right, Jesus got more important stuff to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I bring these things into some of the leadership, and I try to, cause you know, I come from that mental health background. I'm like, hey, pastor, man, what about this? What do you think about this? There was one pastor who said, why don't you pray on that? I said, oh, okay, I know where this is going. And it's like you said, you outgrow, so you just had
Yeah.
to. And you can't knock anyone for you can't knock a leader for leading the way that they want. Let them do it. You don't have to follow them.
Hmm.
If they're
Hmm.
not leading the way you want to, you don't have to follow them. But eventually, man, yeah, I just
So,
had to slow down a
so
little bit.
I get you 100%, man. And like, I love talking about leadership because I'm actually starting my dissertation, doctorate in strategic leadership.
Oh,
And
congratulations, man.
thank
Hey, I
you.
see.
And
Hey,
Mike was a
make
big,
sure you get your transcripts and your
yeah, they ain't gonna
and a
Cheyenne
copy of
Brian me,
this.
my
So yeah,
dog.
so you
I've been watching that all week. Like, oh, just come clean. I used to, I was a director of admissions at Argosy University online.
You was?
Yeah, so she lying, dog. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know. It's like
How
you
you
get
get
to,
a PhD and ain't got your transcripts? Like any black
yeah.
person I know that earned something at that level gonna have copies of everything
What?
Right.
Bro,
everywhere.
you ain't about
You
to
gonna
tell
you
me
gonna have a
nothing.
frame, man.
What he saying? I wear every single chain, even when I'm in the house. That's how it's gonna look, Mike. I got 3 diplomas, one for grandma, one for me, one for work. You gonna see it. So it's just funny because I was like, you go to the clearinghouse and get your transcripts, man. So just she doubling, tripling down. Black Twitter gonna cook her. So what I was saying was strategic leadership is important to me. And as I'm going through this program, Mike, you were a big part of that because executive threat response is my topic. And there's no framework of how to deal with politically charged, emotionally charged, lack of leadership qualities in public facing organizations for Black men. And I want to discuss that. And one of the things I came up with, D, was you hit it on the head. You said, however they lead, but we are responsible for who we allow to lead us,
Mhm.
right? And we're
Mhm.
responsible for the leaders that we create, right? Those two right there. So when someone says pray on it, for you as a mental health specialist, I'm like, okay, God gave you the fortitude to understand humans. So you need to talk to other humans, right? About mental health, right?
Right.
When my conversations with God, right? But sometimes God doesn't necessarily appear how I need him to appear when I need him to
Mhm.
appear. That's never going to
Right.
happen. So I need to talk to the humans that he's blessed with the ability to understand mental health. So if we're
Mhm.
going to talk about that piece, we need to, you know, put all of the logic into the chat as well to say you have skills and that's what your God-given skill is. So go ahead and allow me to create.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the
Pastor
thing.
don't want me to talk to they congregation, man, because they end up knowing the truth.
There we go. That part.
I ain't gonna go
That part
there. I
right
ain't go
there.
there, man.
That part right there.
Hey, you know my dad is a pastor.
Stop.
I
Yeah,
grew
his
up
dad's
around pastors.
a pastor. So like, this a PK
Granddad,
right here.
Okay.
look, granddad, uncles, and I have been taught things that they don't speak in public. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So you start to kind of learn
mhm,
about a whole lot of other pastors and how, or why they say certain things or why they do certain
mm.
things. I'm like, why'd you tell me this? I like being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just like, now when I go to church, I'm like, no,
Yeah,
Right.
I can't internalize it. I hear, hey brother, listen, man, we'll get into that. I hear you. I hear you, man. I hear you.
But this is all like great. We see this and realize it now, the space that we in. But where did it start? Just as where did men get taught how to compete? Grew up playing sports because your parents, the average male had, whether single household, double parent household, they got to keep you busy. So you in some type of after school program. Most likely it was for sports. Most likely it was, if you had a single parent household, you was taught how to survive through the circumstances that you was put in. You're
Mhm.
competing for attention. You're competing for women. You're competing for advancement. So is it wrong to say our whole upbringing taught us how to
man.
compete?
Man, do you know how babies are born? We competed in the womb, man. We competed to race to get to that egg, man.
Won the race.
Competi
Yeah.
we are that's hey, we all hey, we probably don't win all the time, but
Wait,
all of us who are here, we are all winners.
hey, hold up, time out. I had to change screens to read what I was reading. This man came back on with
That boy got the
Hey,
AC on turn.
he's like,
Got the AC
hey,
on
man.
third.
Hey,
oh
it's
man.
right above me right here. My plants need to stay cool. My
I ain't
All
plants
mad
need
right.
to
at
stay
you.
cool.
I ain't
Sorry,
mad.
I had to like wait.
Oh,
This is
that's
magic.
funny.
Yeah. But yeah,
uh,
sorry to interrupt that, dude. I had to get that out.
Okay, competition, right?
Yeah.
Competition.
yeah, yeah,
I think,
yeah.
like I said, as far as competition, absolutely right. Competition that started, and I meant that literally in the womb. You know what I mean?
So
We've
so
been
is
in a
are
race
women
ever since
just
we
as
were born.
competitive?
Absolutely, especially against other women.
Very different. Yeah, it's Mike, the human condition is a straight up tragedy. You know what I mean? It's a straight up tragedy. It really is, man. The human condition, because like, I grew up in the Bronx, New York, oldest of six. And, it was I had my mom and my stepdad, and my family's big down south, big. But I was born and raised in New York. And, they're all Baptists in the church down south. There's a whole lot of us. In New York, like one thing I'll tell you, growing up in the Bronx, man, you were gonna fight. And you were gonna fight. It was going to happen, and you were going to learn early that you wanted validation, that you needed it. That was the thing, that y'all look good, I smell good, the girls like me, the teachers like me, my mom's good, I got the best video games, I got this, I got that. But what happens is when you don't have another like man or adult who knows who they are to sit you down and say, man, you need to know who you are,
Right. Right.
then you're gonna keep seeking validation. So my own journey, Mike, was like, validation seeking, man. So I competed hard. Like I just competed. I wanted to be the strongest. I wanted to be the best. I had drive, right? But it was until I started to understand that I wasn't right with myself in terms of understanding who I was, that I was able to be in rooms like this and be just fine. You know,
Hmm.
that was a learned behavior that I had to unlearn things. So I think the nature versus nurture, no question about it. Like I grew up seeking validation. I grew up wanting to be popular, sometimes at the cost of my respect, right? And, that we see that now as adult black men. And it's sad because I just look at people who do that. I'm just like, man, you haven't found yourself yet. You don't know who you are and what you're capable of. So you're going to keep competing with your brother to knock him down a peg so you feel all right. So I'm gonna have to get
Hmm.
away from you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You keep knocking down people around you because, I mean,
100%.
that's makes you, I guess, you're trying to find yourself. I tell everybody anytime I'm in a session with them, what are you looking for?
Hmm.
You are right in front of
Hmm.
yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what I
And
mean? It's
finding yourself is a journey,
it's a journey,
It's a
absolutely.
journey,
Go ahead.
It's a
Go ahead. Say your
journey.
favorite line, Dar'Ron, because I know you're about to say it. What's your favorite line? Life is about what?
Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself.
100%, right? Yeah, I love that.
You
I
know,
love that. Ain't no hand. You don't
right.
wake up with the handbook. Like, all right, how to be a black man in today's society. Ain't no way. You get some searching, my boy.
Or you and you know what? Either way it goes, it's your choice.
Yeah.
If you want to search, if you want to find yourself, if you're happy with who you are, that's all on you. But you can't really search. I mean, I know people who take people down because, for some reason they're intimidated by the fact that that person that they're looking at, they don't have much, but they are content, right? They have their family, they got their, consistent income, they, they're in good health, but they just don't have all the material things that will make you happy
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or that will make them happy.
100%. It's a difference between somebody who has everything and someone who needs very little. Is a very
Oh, I like that.
big difference, dude.
Mm.
I
And
like
like I
that.
learned that the hard way, by like having everything stripped away from me. I mean, I couldn't get an Uber job. Having and I had to find out who was Demetrius. You gonna, quit, or you gonna figure it out? And I had my moments where I was just like, yo, this is too much. And thankfully I had good people around me to remind me of who I was. Right. So
Mhm.
when I hear things like that, is very interesting because I took on this path of becoming an authority in leadership because I have real beef with leaders who come in and they marginalize you until you're out of your moment. They keep you, just enough so that they can still be the man. Mike let me know who he was. This was less than 2 months on the job. There was a project that if it wasn't done properly, brother, the building was going to close. It was a certificate of occupancy. It was a overhaul, man. When I tell you, it was like this was peak operations. And he was like, "Yo, you got this?" I said, "Yeah, man. Let me put this together. Let me show you." So he inspected what he expected, but he let me. He said, "Hey, that's what he one of mine."
Mhm.
And I went home and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna make sure he understands who he's dealing with." But the fact that had the confidence and the strength of character to be like, hey, I'm good, man. He could do it. Let me know. He didn't try to jump in and I do it this way. He said, what do you see? I said, this is what it is. He said, okay, I need you to get it done. And that was the end of it. That's where I was like, okay, I got a leader. I
Mm-hmm.
got a leader. I got somebody who I can get in the trenches with. I was ready to run through a brick wall for him. So to your point, 100%, dude, 100%, brother.
And the only the one bad part about that is like not you in general, it's just being that type of leader. People think you don't do nothing,
That's
and
crazy. Yeah.
it's like my whole thing is I done achieved a lot in my life already. So it's like ain't much I could do that I'm gonna be like pounding my chest on at this point in
Hmm.
time,
Hmm.
unless it's seeing you shine.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's what I'm pounding my chest on now. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
so it was easy for me to sit in my mind. Here's the plan. Here's the blueprint. Like I know you when you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it. I'm here if you need me because I got other stuff to worry about too. But
Hmm.
then it's like even when my boss would be like, well, what's going on with this? Well, here's the up to date list that Demetris put together, and I would just talk through the list. So I will always give him the credit, always doing making sure that he's shining, so other people know what he's capable of. And to me, that's a true definition of a leader is making sure you're elevating those underneath you when they, especially when they do right. But you rarely find that. But then the opposite side of that, well, then like, oh, well, what are you doing? Like if I ain't done nothing but create the environment so you could be successful and shine, I've done my job.
100%. And Mike, it takes a special type of person to cultivate that. So leadership needs to see, okay, I got someone who can cultivate environments that, allows for all the ships to rise, right? But the problem, Mike, indeed, this is something I coined by way of just experimentation, let's call it, with leadership. People oftentimes have titles, but they don't have the excellence required to carry that title, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you
Absolutely.
start to see the cracks in the armor. And once
Yeah.
they know, you got to watch your back. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta watch your back. Once they know, who they truly are. like it was Batman with the Joker, and the Joker caught the account, and he looked at him and said, "I know the squealers. I know that you were going to tell." Once they know that you know who they are, they their behavior shifts. The questions get dumber, the behavior gets micro, and you're just like, where is this coming from? Why aren't you letting me go? Because they know if I let him go too far away, he might tell everybody that the emperor ain't got no clothes, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. So at what point in time, like, did any
Wow.
of you
Yeah.
realize like that competition between men was becoming unhealthy? Are you at that point? Have you been at that point? When did you realize that?
I don't think I don't think I realized that yet, man. I like friendly competition. I like that. Well, okay, so my competition was always in the gym,
Mhm.
right? You got the homies, especially when I was in college. It was good competition. I'm gonna lift more, or and I'm gonna go to the gym more. But you see them at the gym, and then y'all be pushing each other. I don't think there's really anything wrong with competition if both parties are pushing each other. You can still
Mhm.
compete with somebody and push them at the same time for 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 them to be greater, as long as they're pushing you to be greater too. Um, but I never seen it honestly, man. I never up to this point. I haven't seen it as a problem at this point.
Mhm.
I haven't experienced that, so I'm not going to even front.
Well, on my end, with jujitsu, we have a saying on the mat, the truth will find you. So if you haven't been training, it's gonna come out. You know what I mean? And the truth is gonna find you, man. Don't lie to that one. She gonna let you know. She gonna be mad at
Ooh.
you and have a lot to say if she ain't see you in a while. And if
Mm,
you're not acting right, it's going to show. So on the mat, I found a healthy competition. It pushed me. Like when I took a break and came back, there was a guy who was like two belts lower than me. I come back, he's a belt higher than me, and he went through a metamorphosis.
mhm,
I could have competed with him, like, oh, you was the little homie, but nah, he was better. So it was him who helped me get my black belt because he upped the bar and he
Mhm.
held me to a standard that I held him to when he was, below me. And I'm forever indebted to him for that. Now, where I ran into this a lot, that's why this doctorate is so important, because I I was concerned when I first started working with Mike, because it was in the back of my head. I just came off of working with a professional sports company. We had number 3 draft pick. I'm talking to the parents. I'm in the mix, man, with agents from Clutch Sports. Like I'm getting flown all over just off the strength of who I am. And the person who I was working with, he just would compete. And I'm like, bro, you made it to the league. You did things that I will never do.
Hmm.
But I would come up with an idea, and I could see it just wasn't like he had to come up a notch. He had to keep me small. And it blew up one day when I finally like said something about it, right? And after we had that conversation, it was at that point I realized I can't work with you anymore, because I'm in rooms with the CEO. I think we were in the CEO of Haynes. We're in a room, and I said something, and he was just like, "Wow, where'd you find that? Can you write that for me?" And I'm just sitting there like, I'm little old Demetrius. I'm just here. And after that, it came up in a conversation like, "Oh, he think he this because he did this and this." I'm like, "Bro, like, I'm not your whipping boy, you
Right.
know?" And then
Right.
another issue happened. We're around these are professional athletes, former professional athletes. We're in a bar one day, and we're in Texas. So the person I was with, and who played for Texas, and they love football out there, they was loving them. So he decides, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this girl a drink." So I look over, she was with her mom. So he buys her the drink. Her mom says no, her boyfriend's in the bathroom. So him being who he was says, "Oh well, he could have a drink too." And I looked at him, I said, "Man, I wouldn't do that, because I'm the only one at this table that knows how to fight. So I mean, I'll just keep it real. If it goes down, like I'm gonna be the one." And like the look on his face was like, it got serious, guys. It got like, and it was true. Like, yeah, you could alpha male me with your professional accolades or whatever, but primal behavior, like,
Yeah. I'm gonna
it'll
whoop
go
you,
down,
right?
right? And it was stuff like that. I was like, man, that boy ego hurt. Why? Like, and I was just like, you know what?
His
We
face,
can't. I
his
want
face broke. You broke his face without touching him, man.
broke his back. Yeah, 100%. It was in front of the people who was, his cronies and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, I should have kept my mouth shut. But like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm grown. If you with me, you with me. You're
Yeah.
not gonna try to whip
Yeah.
and boy me or anything like that. So I've experienced it on a lot, to the point where I had to self-evaluate to say, am I the problem? But through my studies, brothers, nah, we're not the problem. Like weak-minded people who perform as leaders are the problem. And I'll say that
Yeah,
candidly.
Ooh, we said
yeah.
performance leaders.
Yeah, performance leaders. Yeah. The posers. They're out there.
hmm I
Hmm.
think what Dar'Ron said. I'm gonna use a weight room example too, but that's when I realized it was unhealthy, because
Hmm.
even when you're competing in a weight room, you could see somebody, you know, benching, 225. But if you ain't done, as Demetri said, if you ain't done the work to get there, you're gonna be just throwing on 225, trying to push it up to compete, and you're gonna hurt yourself.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
And that's when I saw it, because even strength coaches back then, it was all about the amount of weight that you was putting up. So and so's over there doing this, and you trying to become a champion, you should be. And now they pitting you against each other.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I remember in college, I never squatted over 300 pounds. I never benched over 180. But then you have other people squatting 415, you know, throwing up 250, like they were beasts, but the technique was wrong. Everything, how they was doing was wrong. So that strength never transferred over into the track. So they couldn't, that same person that was long
Hmm.
jump, that was squatting 415, couldn't long jump 23 feet,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
But then yet, I'm saying never over 300, never over 185 in the bench, but I was winning that all the time, because I was making sure I was technically sound. I had to block out the competition aspect against another man and start competing against myself.
Hmm.
Mike is here. In order for Mike to grow, I have to realize where I'm at. It's not where Demetrius is at. It's not where Dar'Ron is at. I'm here, and let me compete with myself to get better, not with another man. So I
Mm.
think that's when I learned in college that this is an unhealthy competitive atmosphere,
Hmm.
that when you try to pit one another pit men against each other. So
Mhm.
Let
that's
me
my
ask you a
little example.
question, Mike, and I'm true, like just humbly speaking, right? I'm still trying to get onto that mindset because to tell the truth, like you know how some people need motivation to go to the gym or motivation to get that certain position that they want, or motivation to follow whatever, right? It's a certain mindset you have to to um to motivate yourself, right? In the gym, it helped me. I say this all the time. What motivated me to go to the gym is the fact that the fact that women looked at my body, love looking at my body. I loved it. That it made me feel good, right?
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
we all know, you do a little stretch, you know what I'm saying? You show the six
Mhm.
pack, you kind of we do that little teeny thing where we put our hand on the doorway and you kind of, kind of pull. Y'all know, right? Look, everybody know. So,
Uh,
but that helped me, and
Mhm.
as vain as it may sound, it helped, right?
Mhm.
It helped
Mhm.
motivated me. It made me want to push more and more and more and more. Now I'm married, right? Now it's like now my motivation has to change,
Mhm.
right? Because
Mhm.
I can't be motivated, I can't work out and say, well, I'm working out because I like the way women look at me.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That's cause for a fight.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 man.
so my question to
Yeah.
you is like, how do you get, or either one of you, how do you get that inner motivation, right? How do you get that drive, that because if it's not competition, right? For some people,
Mhm.
competition is motivation,
Mhm.
right? So, for some people, their family is motivation. But in order to finish whatever you're doing, you got to have that motivation within. So, Mike, how do you get that? How did you get that mindset that you had during that time? Right? You say you had to compete with yourself. How do you
Yeah,
compete
because
with yourself? Like now, it's easier said than done, right?
yeah.
Because I
hmm
can say, oh, I have to compete with myself. Like, okay, what does that look like?
I think track to me is one of the greatest sports to help produce that. Because it's you're out there on an island by yourself. Um, and so you can either get better, but then realizing I mean, I don't know if I kind of always knew. I mean, I was 145 pounds walking into college. I was just skinny little dude, but maybe it started young. But Edward was a track superstar, right? So I
Everybody
had to,
was, man. Everybody in
yeah.
your family was sports was like
But
stars.
maybe it started then because here's an example of man, like I couldn't even compare myself to him. I couldn't. I couldn't. But everybody expected me to be Edward Turner's little brother. But I remember at a track meet, and this is probably why I never ran summer track, but it was probably like ninth, seventh or eighth grade, something. I was young. I'm at a summer track meet because Edward's competing, so I was like, they trying to get me to do the same thing. Um, I did the 100-meter dash. I ain't even lie. I felt like I lost by 50 meters, like straight up. Like I feel like I lost that bad in a 100-meter dash. So at that point, I was like, oh, track ain't for me. But I had to tell myself right then, I'm not my brother. I'm never going to be my brother. I have to create my own lane and just compete with me. What do I want to do? I got to be the best person I could be.
Mhm.
Not like here's Edward's standard, and if I don't reach his standard, then I'm nobody.
Mhm.
So I think I had to just turn it on at an early age to get out his shadow or not fall in his shadow and do something, but just with me. When I look in the mirror, I'm the exact opposite. I'm not looking to impress the women. I'm like, damn, I can't see my six pack no more. I gotta get in the I gotta get
Mhm.
in the weight room.
Mhm.
I gotta do
Mhm.
some more.
Mhm.
It's like that's literally what keeps me working out. It ain't
Yeah,
it's what
yeah,
I see in the mirror. Am
yeah.
I happy with what I see?
That way.
Yeah. And
That
it's not,
way.
but it's like, oh, okay, getting a little sloppy. Got to go in
Yeah.
here and get a workout,
Yeah.
because if I listen to everybody, dad bods are supposedly in. So if I listen to the dad bod culture, I don't got to work out because everybody loves it. But
Mhm.
nah, I don't. I don't like it. So I got
No,
to keep
you
going.
can't have dad bod no more. Your daughter's gone out the house. Like you can't do that. I can have dad bod. You can't.
I don't know. You
That's only for people who kids that live with them.
live with them.
Yeah,
They in the house when
nah,
they out in the wild, man. You gotta be ready to get active.
they once a
True.
parent,
Hey,
always a parent.
100%. No, but I hear you, Mike. You said something profound, Mike. Like it really is that it's that mental it's that strength of character, to be able to look in the mirror and say, if I could look in the mirror, and I tell this to my students when I teach them, if you could look in the mirror and honestly say to yourself, I did everything I possibly could to accomplish this goal and it didn't work. I'm all right. I did everything I could. It wasn't in my toolbox to achieve that goal. As far as like the gym and things are concerned, like I have decent genetics. I do take care of myself. I do attribute, my body to those 400 years. You know what I mean? 400 years here. My folks was working, because it showed.
Yeah,
But that mentally competing on myself because I'm 43 years old. I go into the gym. I'm around people that are 20 years younger than me all the time. I'm competing around them all the time, but I don't compete with them. I play the role of the big homie, of the uncle, the OG, and I
okay.
stay in my lane, making sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be, here. And they feel that. They come to you to ask questions. They come to you, how you do this? How you do that? Instead of you trying to compete. I could bench 325 too, young buck. It's like, nah, man, yo, that's awesome. You're strong.
right.
I want to be up here with a pull-up bar, you know what I mean? Because that works for my body type and what
Right.
I'm doing here. Me benching 225 and all that, for what I do, it's not conducive to growth, right? But that's me knowing me. I ain't got to compete with y'all. Like I'm dripping wherever I go.
Hmm.
Mike, we go out, we go do whatever we want, man. We can. I told Mike, if we were in college together, we've been a problem. It would have been a problem. Would have been an absolute problem. But we know who we are. Everybody on this, we know who we are. So when it comes to things like that, I think that motivation is really within because even if you were like, yeah, I just want to look good for my wife, like that's going to fade if respectfully, just
Hmm.
generally speaking, if she's not doing the same thing, right? You're going to feel a
Yeah.
type of way because you're
Right.
like, I'm working real hard. And then all it will take is, oh, buddy, you look good. And now we got a situation, right? But if it's for, you know what? I just want to make sure I feel good. I
Good.
feel good.
Yeah.
I feel like I look good. I'm good,
Yeah.
then the motivation will stay because you'll hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. I think one thing, and I'm gonna say it whatever. You know me, Mike, man. I'm gonna just say it. All right. So I do what I most of the things I do. One of the reasons why I do it is because I like my stock to go up. You know what I'm saying? So I need my wife to think twice before she even think about doing anything stupid, right? So in order for me to do that, I gotta keep myself right. I gotta keep my money right. I gotta keep my being a good dad right. I gotta keep my sex game right. I gotta keep my talk game right. I gotta keep everything right. You know what I'm saying? Because she gonna have to think twice before, and even if she does leave. Like,
Mhm,
how I grew up, Mike, you already know, my background. Like everybody, my divorce all day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. So that's my trauma that I deal with at times, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna prepare myself for her to leave because I'm ready for number
mm,
two.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And and
mhm.
and and that kind of what keeps me going. I'm going through that with my therapist. Don't worry about it. You know.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
But yeah, so that actually, so it's, and I tell my wife this, your motivation is your motivation. It may seem silly, it may seem vain, right? But whatever it is and it's working for you, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Whatever if it's helping you to get better, do it respectfully.
And I think, yeah,
Respectfully,
but I
of
think that's a
course.
Respectfully.
good point.
You
I
know?
don't know that a lot of people can be honest with who they are and be honest with themselves because
Okay.
there's so much societal pressure, even back then, growing up, you know, it was like we talked about this before. Be a man, don't cry. So like even that pressure from the hood, from your parents, was they was teaching you certain things. So now, as you're older, whatever you were raised in is kind of what you're still emulating at this
Mhm.
point in time. Is that environment that you were brought up in. So that's like, are you um
Yep.
honest enough with yourself to be honest with yourself? So since because we was brought up in this little be strong mentality, be a man mentality, like were we ever taught that did that teach us that being vulnerable with other men was a weakness?
Hell yeah.
Therefore, you couldn't be vulnerable with yourself. You can't
Hell
look
yeah.
yourself in the mirror and say that my big belly is bad because that's a weakness. I'm gonna
Mhm.
rock this big belly the best way I can.
Mhm. Mhm. We were taught, Mike, we were taught, and the crazy thing about it, Mike, and what is so detrimental to our community, we weren't taught it verbally. We watched it. We
Mhm,
saw it and we absorbed it, right? To be vulnerable as a man, no way. Like I have to be tough because I'm the leader of my household and I have to be strong. And if I cry, I'm weak and this and that. The Mike, I swear the mat taught me a lot, brother. Because I get on the mat, we're doing what, people often define themselves as. We're fighting. And like once I found myself capable of like having other men submit to my will on a mat, it was just like it was this eye opening to say, okay, Demetrius, what do you want, dude? Like, what do you want for yourself? Like, what does this mean to you? Right. And that's when you talked about being intellectually honest with yourself to say, what do I want? Am I okay? I do feel a type of way when people look at me. I don't
mhm,
smile as much because I don't like my teeth. I don't, go to these places. I'm afraid what they're gonna say. And once you tap into that, you talk to whoever you need to talk to and tackle those demons from your younger self. It's really it's it's freeing, man, because you can walk with you just are good in your own skin. And there's so many people, Mike, that they're not good in their own skin. And it translates to competitions with your brother who's just reaching out to give you a hand. But the problem is you don't know the difference between a slap in the face and a handshake,
mm.
right? So you just fighting with him. And he's just like, bro, why are
Mhm.
we arguing? You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. That's why our relationship was so important and meaningful to me, Mike, because I was coming off of like just bad leadership, brother. Bad leadership, people that played in the league, did all of these great things. And then I come up to you and I'm like, Mike, I was one of the first. I would tell you, like, yo, you're a D1 athlete, bro. Of course, this doesn't look good to you because to have a deep Division 1 mindset, most people will never do anything that difficult in their life or
Mhm.
achieve those goals. So they don't know what it takes to say, I missed it by 1 inch. That's rough. Yeah, because you're operating at a high level. So people who are in that middle third and bottom third, they're not gonna understand. They're gonna be intimidated by it, Mike. And that's what we do. And we have to face that and be real with it. We intimidate people. And I'm not being facetious. We just do. And they know it. And it comes out when we intimidate them because their behavior shifts. They marginalize us. They talk behind our backs.
Mhm.
They, sometimes will sabotage things and you have to keep eye on them. And at that point, the relationship is gone. And I have to move away. And Mike, you're a prime example because you were reluctant to open up to certain things. And we would have those conversations. And if you don't mind me, I won't get too detailed of just like, man, I gotta be able to trust you because I've just been burned by people that I thought were in the trenches with me.
Mhm,
And you were dealing with trauma. And I myself was like, y'all have a responsibility to my brother because he already dealt with this. So I had to make sure my behavior was on point with certain things and make sure, nah, I told him I was gonna do this, I gotta do it. All right, he expects me here, opening the building. I got to be here a half hour before it opens so that he understands who he's dealing with, right? But that took effort on my part to do that and knowing who you were and hearing where you were vulnerable. So you have to find who your tribe is and they're who's vibrating with you on that level.
You're
And
right.
Mike, indeed, quite frankly, everybody can go,
yeah.
you know.
Dar'Ron, we was even competing on who shows up to work earliest. I thought I had this man one day. We'd be like, I got you, Texas. I got you here before you. I got there super early one day because like the building has to open up at 6, right? So I got there super early one day. It's like, yeah, got him. Didn't see his car, nothing. I'm like, yeah, got him. That mofo walk out the office. I'm like,
Talking about I took an Uber, right?
That was usually I was when I was riding my bike. I was riding my bike down, you know what I mean?
I was
But
like,
I needed
man.
you to know, Mike. I just because I wanted, like you said before, I just wanted to see you win.
uh,
That was legit, brother. I
uh,
just wanted to see my guy. Because I was like, if he wins, like it's good for everybody. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
So I
right,
want to see you win, you know, and that scares people too, Mike. And when you're like that, they're so used to, you know, somebody wanting something from them and
right.
there's being a catch that when you genuinely come up, brother, and you say, "Yo, I just want to see you win," yeah, I'm gonna be good regardless because I'll
right.
find a way, right? They they don't know how to take it. You scare them.
Dar'Ron, why do you think men are so hesitant to celebrate one another?
You said something, D. You said you just want to see him win,
Hmm.
right? That means you was working hard, right?
Yeah.
That means you would put in them hours. Well, if Mike wasn't who he was, he may have thought you was trying to take his position
Mm.
because you working so hard, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's what it is. They don't celebrate each other maybe because they think you trying to take their position. Maybe they want to see you, like you said, where you are. They don't want to see you rise above. Not the
Hmm.
ones closest. I mean, the ones closest to you, like Mike, like us, okay, yeah, yeah, I see my Don, see the Dons go, and we like to see the brothers rise, but everybody is not like that. Every man is not like that, right?
Hmm.
When you see somebody in your same position and they're doing a better job than you did in that position, you're looking at them like they trying to get my job.
Hmm.
So I think we don't
Hmm.
celebrate each other out of fear and jealousy.
Yeah.
Fear and
Yeah.
jealousy. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, I'm jealous that Demetris could come in there in some joggers and a t-shirt, and I got to be in the blazer and button down every day.
Oh, I leaned into Mike. I leaned into that. I said, "You the executive director. I'm gonna go get dirty. I will be. We go right to Lululemon. We gonna make it work though. It's gonna look clean, you know. But I'm gonna be comfortable though.
Oh
That was
man!
it. That was just. But
Every
like
time I look at
Right.
it, I'm like, this.
You have you ever seen, I mean, someone, I can't remember where I got this from, but they were talking about you can I think they were talking about here's how you spot a hater, something like that. And they said if you go up to someone and you tell them the things that you accomplish and they say something like, or the things that you want to accomplish, and they say something like, "Oh man, how you gonna do that?" Like, "Oh."
Mhm. Mhm.
Or you accomplish something, they'll say, "Oh man, yeah, that's cool," but their facial expression doesn't match the words that came out their mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of brothers, they don't want to see. A lot of brothers want to see. I'm not negating nothing. Like real brothers, they want to see brothers rise. But then there are
Yeah.
some brothers who, and sometimes people don't even know that they're that way. Let's get this
Mm.
straight, right? People
Mhm.
don't
Uh-huh.
know that they hate. I caught myself hating that time. I'm like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have said that. I had to call the dude back, like, my bad, man. Hey, man, I didn't, because
Yeah.
sometimes people are hating and don't even know it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
has nothing to do with the other person's accomplishment. It's the lack of from
Yeah.
within.
Yeah. 100. And it's a consistency we seen in our lives too. Like, um, we in our community, the Black community, we're so accustomed to, how do I say this? Almost and at least, right? Somebody almost did this. Well, at least they,
Okay.
right? We're so used to that that when someone is really winning and it's like, man, everything lining up, we're skeptical. We're skeptical. We're like, oh, well, there's got to be a catch. Or if they're going to do something great, not necessarily because I can't do it, but I got to see it, right? Because you yourself aren't used to winning, right?
Hmm.
And again, I'll throw the ball back to Mike is because he was used to winning. He knew what it felt like at the top. He knew what it felt like at the bottom. when you feel that and you know what it feels like to be at the very top of your game, where you just did everything that you wanted to do, and then maybe some things happen, but you still achieve those goals,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what it feels like to lose everything, right? Mike had a catastrophic, leg injury in college, but still had to build himself back up. When you feel both of those, you don't want your brother to go through that. You don't want your brother to go through that, right? You want to see them win because you know how it feels. And we all know if you've flown first class, it is much better with the people you care about with you,
Hmm.
Right.
right? When you're up winning, you're going to a basketball game and you're doing these great things. And many of us have been in positions where we got to the top or somewhere and we wanted to pull our friends up, but they just weren't on that level, right? And they couldn't go with us. So I get where you're coming from with that, with like, you were skeptical. I want to say you were just skeptical. You was just like, all right, that sounds cool. Maybe maybe it didn't move you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe
Right.
whatever
Yeah.
they was going through, it didn't move you. And that's where we have to be conscientious to say, let me big them up. Even though that's not, that's kind of
Right.
mediocre. That's,
Right.
I mean, that's light to me, but hey, shout out to you, man. That's in your
Absolutely.
D1, D2, D3, right? Mike, in your D3 world, that's crazy, right? For you. You
Yeah.
feel me? I'm a
That's a good point. I mean, I think that's what kind of set it, that kind of helped set in my mindset too. I've been at the top. I've been at the bottom. I started off at the bottom
mhm,
and knew the work that it took to get to the top.
mhm,
And it wasn't even the top. It
mhm.
was it was the furthest I've been, but it
To
wasn't.
you.
Yeah.
To you, right? Right, Mike?
Yeah.
Like, to you.
Yeah.
To
Right.
me, I'm looking at you like, "Hey, bruh," it's like you did that. Like, you know what I mean? You got paid to go to school, you did it at a high level. Like, I walked into D1 and was just like, "Oh, boy." Yeah. I wasn't ready for it, right? And I
Yeah.
didn't have the desire. Like, you had the desire, and you started from the bottom, made it to what I believe to be the top, and then it came crashing down and you had to start from scratch again. And that was another point David Goggins talks about in his book. Can't hurt me is not being afraid to start from scratch. And we're those types of people, right? We could lose it all and it's gonna suck. We're gonna cry, but we will pick ourselves up, surround ourselves by around the people we're supposed to be around and go. And I think I genuinely think that's why we got along so well, Mike, is because you were just like, yo, for him to be in this room and do what he did, he had to work hard. And you
Hmm.
respected that. You respected hard work, you know?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. For anybody else coming in working hard, I'm gonna give you the runway to take off and shine.
Yeah. And that was another piece, brother. You treated it as a runway, not a landing strip. Like, Mike, I analyzed your behavior as a leader so much. I've probably written about 30 to 40 pages about it already for my
Uh,
dissertation because it was my laboratory. Like, your
uh,
leadership style, along with the environment we were in, was my laboratory of defining leadership, what works, what doesn't work,
uh,
how hate is going to arise, what it in the different forms that it's going to arise, because we have a mutual enemy in this environment. I won't give his name the praise, but we have the mutual enemy. You know what I respect about him though? He's a real op.
yeah.
Right? He's a real enemy. He's coming at you with daggers and everything in the world. I know him. I look at him I'm like, hey, man, I got real friends over here. I got a real enemy in you. I respect that. What I don't respect are the people that act like they're your friends and act like they want to see you win and they're just backbite. And it's like, bro, why? Just leave me alone. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just leave me be, you know?